Welcome to the Veterans Online Summit. My name is Larry Peacock, and I am the host of the summit. And it's going to be completely free this weekend. So definitely watch all the videos. The schedule is up. If you look on my Facebook profile for Larry Peacock, the complete schedule is up for the Veterans Online Summit. So definitely take notes while you're watching all the speakers. Each of the speakers present a different online business model. And that was the purpose of the summit, is just to kind of expose you to all the business models for starting an online business. If you want all-time access, like an all-access pass that you can watch the videos at any time you want after this weekend, you can upgrade to that pass at veteransonlinesummit.com. We'll also be providing workbooks that will correlate to each of the interviews that will help you dive more into that. As far as our Facebook group, look for Funnel Vets, FUNNELVETS, Funnel Vets on Facebook. All right. I hope you guys have a great time. Thank you so much for joining us at the Veterans Online Summit, and I'll see you on the high ground. Wake up, you. All right, my fellow veterans. Welcome back to the Veterans Online Summit. I have my good friend here, Jamie Davidson. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Doing great, Larry. How you doing?
Doing really well. I got to connect with Jamie at the Funnel Hacking Live for ClickFunnels, and it was super exciting to connect with him. And I actually had known Jamie been following him for a few years, and it's just great that we were able to connect in person. Jamie, go ahead and, if you would, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with selling on Amazon, sir.
Sure. Yeah, I'm the co-founder along with two fellow partners of AMZ Insiders, or you can go to amzinsiders.org. And we do two things. We run an e-commerce business that's scaled pretty large. We just got to about $100 million last year selling on Amazon. This was an entrepreneurial effort starting from scratch. And then we also, what the last couple of years we started doing through AMZ Insiders is helping other entrepreneurs do the same and kind of follow our path for those that are interested in Amazon and e-commerce specifically.
No, that's great. That's fantastic. And if you would, tell me about your military career, and then also about your kind of how you were able to transition from the military to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the short of it was I went to a military academy. So I went to West Point, and then I graduated from there in the mid-'90s. At the time, the military was actually drawing down a little bit. So I stayed in for less than 4 years, because there was it was called the VERP, the Voluntary Early Retirement Program. These were the Clinton years. Yep. I was a logistics officer down in Savannah, Georgia, at Hunter Army Airfield outside of Fort Stewart. And so yeah, I got out basically as a first lieutenant, so before captain days. So I was pretty young. I was 26, 27 by the time I was out. I did have a few years of reserve time after that, but that was essentially it. And the path I went, just briefly, in terms of your question about, for the military to entrepreneurship, it wasn't a short gap. I would probably be, nowadays it's a little quicker. Then, the opportunities are a little tougher. You're talking about internet access was like AOL, right?
Yeah.
Dial-up modem, right? So, although when I was deployed in the military, I will say one side thing before I answer the question fully. I remember being deployed, having a USA Today newspaper, and looking through business opportunities and seeing vending machines. And I started a peppermint patty vending business while I was in the military as an officer. And I'd be throwing quarters in my pockets in the weekends in my sweatpants, trying to avoid my captain or whatever. But because, the realities in the military, you get in there, it's hey, there's a lot of positives, but financially, as we all know, it's not easy. And I learned that as an officer. I thought out of West Point, I was like, man, when I become an officer, I'm going to have all this money. Then I realized, oh, it's really not that much money. Right? It's man, I need to make some more money. Back then, there wasn't as many online opportunities. But as far as kind of the bigger picture and the path for me was, it was more of a corporate path. Where I went through one of the military headhunters, like Lucas Group, one of those big headhunters that placed me in, those that were looking to recruit, military personnel. So I actually went into banking, and I ended up going to another military recruiting program, eventually into Home Depot to run a Home Depot store. And then I kind of fell into the education training I was running. And I came to become a little more senior, regional director, senior, and I was getting a little older. And that's what brought me down all the way to a private equity deal as a chief operating officer of this company that brought me from Pennsylvania area down to Atlanta, where I am now. And my next door neighbor was who's one of my partners now, Jason, a native Chinese. He was selling these cell phone cases out of his garage while he was a software consultant.
Oh, wow.
But just a side hustle, right? Hustle.
Yeah.
And again, there's lots of things you could do, but at first I didn't really take it that seriously. It's kind of like selling on eBay until I started hanging out with him, having a few beers, and realizing like, oh, this is serious stuff. And yeah. And so from there, that kind of changes. So I had kind of this, the long answer short is I had, this long kind of corporate transition, which was good. I got to the point where I was making some pretty serious money. But the reality of that was still, even with that, it was still, for me, I've got 3 boys, wife and family. I was still, traveling. I was still didn't have control of my time. I was still at risk of a company, even at that level, when they sold or, you get replaced or whatever the case may be. There was still a lot of risk. So, I was going from a couple different of those senior opportunities. So this was an opportunity to really kind of not only financially do well, but take control of, kind of the destination I wanted to go to. And it was something I was interested in. For me, when I came across Amazon and the dynamics of e-commerce and myself having some, it felt right. And there's lots of things you can do, but for me, this felt right. And that was one of the important things I thought, why I pursued it.
Oh, wow. So now, when did you begin selling on, like, what year was it again that you started selling on Amazon?
Yeah. So my partners, Jason and Brad, so really the company really seriously started selling back in 2012, 2013. I was getting into it. Initially I was involved with them, but not as formally. Really for me, it was about 2015, kind of like, all in more formally right around that time period. So it was a couple of years back, but that time period was kind of even though Amazon had been around years before that, that was still in terms of like people selling on the platform. And most people, even this day, people don't realize like you can sell on Amazon, right? Most people think, oh, Amazon's this big thing that sells everything. Like, no, about more than half the people, the stuff that's sold on Amazon is sold by, entrepreneurs that are just, using the platform like that. But yeah, so it was a few years back, and it was kind of the early days relative to, how far it's come.
Wow. So, selling on Amazon, and especially when you guys started, you said kind of roughly started 2012, and then you really jumped into it in 2015. Talk a little bit about how it's evolved since that time. Here we are in 2019, Amazon itself, I worked full time for Amazon, and it's grown considerably. What impact has that had on your business?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, the thing about Amazon, whether you work there or whether you're on the platform, is things are always changing, right? Amazon as a company is moving quickly because the world moves quickly, and they're competing, and Amazon as a company has to stay ahead of the competition, right? People forget they're competing against Walmart, competing against Target, the other platforms, just the world at large. So they're continuing evolving. And so that means as a seller, things change. So you have to understand kind of where things are going. I would say in the earlier days, it was different for a lot of reasons, kind of for both better and worse. There was, there was less competition. There was less people kind of knew what they were doing. But there was also, much less support, not talking about Amazon, but just in terms of like external support, like the ecosystem of Amazon, of like third-party softwares really didn't exist. How to find a product, how to do this, how to manage everything was either kind of you did it yourself or Amazon provided. Now there's kind of all these tools out there that exist, and there's also people that have done it before, like ourselves, that you can kind of learn from. At that point, it was like, the Wild West. You're trying to just figure out, how this works, what the opportunity is. Now the upside was, hey, at the time you could do probably more wrong then in terms of like product selection. You could be sloppy, a little sloppier, and still be fairly successful.
Yeah.
What I say would not change is though, either way, whether it's then or now, you have to be like, it is a real business. And so you have to be willing to which I think fits military really well, is there's an element of, I'll call it discipline, or the ability to run a business, that a lot of people that get involved in stuff don't realize, or any of these, they think they're just chasing the dollars. Yeah. They don't realize like, no, you need to go, X, Y, Z and create value and all this good stuff. So that's still the same, but a different area, but still, like, even all this being said, we talk about e-commerce is still like less than 15% of all commerce. So e-commerce is still like growing at a rapid rate. E-commerce is growing, like 30% clip. I mean, So we're still, even though it's been a while since then, but we're still in the early stages compared to the next, 10, 15, 20 years.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. So you alluded to it a little bit, but so we have, our fellow veterans that are watching right now, and most of them are going to be completely new to the concept of starting an online business. What are some of the potential headaches that our veterans can avoid when starting selling on Amazon itself?
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, a couple of things. One of the reasons why, if you think about like us selling on Amazon, and we have a warehouse and we've grown it to large, you don't need any of that. That's the cool thing. You can run, a lot of the people we coach and help are like, they're a one-person shop or a husband, wife, or maybe a couple buddies that get together and they put together some capital and go at it together as a small team. But, one of the things, I'll start with what I like about Amazon is when you're doing online business, whether it's Amazon or something else, is you need to get traffic. You need customers. And what Amazon really, and I've learned this too, because our AMZ Insiders coaching business, we have to bring the traffic, right? We have to find people. So we had to learn how to do that from scratch. It wasn't our expertise. And it's hard, right? So that's a lot of the opportunities out there, even if you're selling on Shopify or whatever else, that's another skill set. You need to learn how to, pay for traffic or build organic traffic. When you sell on Amazon, that's the piece that's not the challenge, because Amazon has like all the traffic, right? Half the searches of all online searches for products, physical products, starts, on Amazon. Another 25% of people Google search it and it points them to Amazon. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of like the big win of Amazon. Okay, the traffic is already there. So instead of on Amazon, what you need to do is other things. So on Amazon, especially, nowadays, you need to make sure that you get you figure out what product you're going to sell. And that's, you can be coached on that. You can walk through, there's tools for that. And then the other thing you need to do is, you need to really understand, I like to talk about brand building. So on Amazon, you need to build a little brand, because Amazon loves brands. This is not one thing that's that hard or complicated, but you build a little brand that you can trademark, that you can create your own. And the third thing you realize about Amazon is, for those that don't know, is Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, is what you do is, we don't house any of our own inventory. We don't fulfill it.
Yeah.
You don't need to, I'm saying. We do some of that. But Amazon does all that for you at their warehouses. They ship it out. They handle the customer service, all that standpoint. So really you can focus on the other aspects of the business, which is getting a good product. And then how do you get that product to page one, or to, so people can find it on Amazon, right? So people can find it and you understand the steps, then, then you can do really well. I mean, obviously there's a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That's kind of the really short version.
No, that's amazing. And I myself have, I've been interested in selling on Amazon, and I just found out, but I was like, man, I work for Amazon. So is there am I okay to do that? And I actually just found out, even as an Amazon employee, that I'm allowed to sell on Amazon and I don't have to pay the seller fees.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just found that out. So I'm like, okay, so roger that. So anyway, the other thing that I wanted to mention, for Amazon, the benefit is that your customers, their debit card's already in there, right? They're ready to buy. You have ready to buy customers. You know what I'm saying? You already kind of moved past that stage of trying to collect their debit card.
Yeah, 100%. I'll just add to that real quick is, the power of Amazon and so many of the webs, but also really mobile. So mobile growth has been insane, 300%, 400% a bunch of years, because no one makes it easier to buy, something online than Amazon. That's what Amazon has perfected. Their whole, the whole fulfillment, but also the ease to buy. When you go to Amazon, right, and yourself, me, my wife, anyone else out there, right? If you guys go to Amazon to buy something, if you don't buy something, right, you can't find what you did. You're disappointed, right? You fully expected to buy it, and you expect it to be at your house within 2 days, maybe 1 day, right? That's how simple Amazon's made it. So that, you're absolutely right. It's that part, we almost take for granted now, but that's why people, myself, you always go to Amazon first, because, right, I need this product in 2 days. I'm not going to order it from another website and get it in 2 weeks. And so it's your exact point. It's so easy. So that's why you have to focus on some other things. You got to create value. You've got to know how to market the product using the Amazon platform. But all of it's very learnable, and there's processes you can learn and follow.
That's awesome. So for our fellow veterans, if they're wanting to start selling on Amazon, what is the timetable that they the expectation that they can, learn from you, start an online business, selling on Amazon, and possibly see an ROI?
Yeah, people work with us, and periods of like either 4 months, 8 months, or even, a year in terms of how much support they want from us directly. But regardless, what I would say is, it's kind of two things. One is a lot of people that work with us or are starting this as an entrepreneur have a full-time job as well at the time, because, they need to pay the bills while they're building this. So it's going to take them, at least 6 months realistically in terms of to leave that job. Probably takes them a year, I would say, of really, because a lot of this business, it only costs a couple grand to get into it and started, which is, way cheaper than, launching a Subway or something, or a franchise is going to cost you $100,000 or 50 grand or more. It does take, as you make some money on it initially, let's say you make a couple grand, you're not going to stick that in your pocket typically. So people should understand, typically you're going to reinvest that back into your inventory. And you want to grow this until you get to like your business to like 100,000, 200,000 plus. So typically you can think probably for the first 12 months, realistically, you're going to have to do that. Some people do go 100% into it if they have like, some savings or maybe some investment partners. But with that in mind, it's a balance of that time. And the nice thing is Amazon doesn't take, 40 hours a week because it sells 24/7 on its own. Yeah. You have to get it set up, but it does take, at least a couple hours a day to really keep it moving, or, whatever, 10 hours a week, or you dedicated Saturday to get it cranking. So yeah, so realistically it takes some time to learn it and to run the business. But, I think within a year, someone realistically could, go all in if they don't, if they financially are in good shape. It might take longer. Some people may run it as a side hustle for 2 or 3 years, build it. The separate thing I would say about this business to keep in mind, kind of a side note, but it's a big one, is the real money you make when you build these things and you build a little brand and you build your business on Amazon. You can sell this business very easily. There's marketplaces where people buy these things because they don't want to start it up. They want to buy it. And so about 2/3 of the money you make on this stuff is actually when you sell it. So we have people in our group that have sold their business within 24 months. They grow it to like 800,000 in sales. Wow. They go to one of these there's these marketplaces that broker these deals. They're like little investment bankers. There'll be someone who has a $20 million business in wholesale. They don't want to start this thing, and you've grown this thing to $1 million. So they're like, hey, let's go ahead and buy this from you. And then you can go ahead and start, another business and do the same thing. So
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, that's where like most of the profits made. Like you said, you get a straight check. So you might get a check for, $600K or something, right? Because you grew a business to $200,000 profit, or, $100,000 profit. Someone buys it and then you start it again. So now if you grow it bigger, of course, you can sell it for more, but just keep that in mind. And I like that perspective when you're running the business, even if it's a little business, it's like if you're preparing to sell your house in a year or 6 months, that, you would keep your house in order and keep it pretty squared away. If you build this business as if you're going to sell it in a year or two, there's a lot of things you do a little bit better. You understand, how to run this business well.
That's a really good analogy. So talk a little bit, just real briefly, you got a little plaque there behind you, and I was there to witness you getting that plaque. I ran up to the stage and got me some pictures of it and video for you.
Oh, you're the best, man. That was awesome. That was fun. There was like 4,500 people there. That place was crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Back there on the, I guess your guys, the far side is my little West Point diploma, but that was the only thing I had up there. Now it has a little buddy, to your point, on the entrepreneur side. That's the 2 Comma Club Award, for doing more than 7 figures online in a sales funnel last year through, this company ClickFunnels, we know, but it was pretty cool. That was kind of a good achievement, because it was, we were learning new skills in terms of how to drive online traffic and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't easy. Like, you learn new skill sets. And so it was, felt like a pretty good achievement to achieve that. So that's what that was. Yeah.
You're a humble guy, Jamie, man. A lot of us we die for that little plaque there. So it's awesome. I was so stoked to see you get that. And again, my fellow veterans, I've known who Jamie is for 3 years. When I first got into ClickFunnels, I was looking to build a funnel, and I went into I was with Julie Stone of Digital Gangsters.
Oh, yeah. I love Julie.
Yeah, Julie, and she had these templates that were just amazing. And I saw this one template of this redhead who was on, this guy who's a redhead, and the template was just beautiful, and it was you, sir. It was you. And I was like, and then I heard that you were in the military with the West Point and all that, and we got Camp Buckner in common, and that whole. But so, and I saw that, and then I was like, man, I've wanted to connect with you for the longest time. Then finally we got to connect in person. So Jamie, again, I'm really thankful to connect with you, sir.
Yeah, Larry, you're awesome, man. I love the work you're doing. And I think, I think what's cool, what you're doing is just, the stuff online, there's kind of the stuff that's kind of hokey and people are leading people in the wrong direction in terms of like quick money or quick that and the other two. And it's a shame because it leads what's real opportunity out here for people that do it the right way. And it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean Amazon's for everybody, right? You got to figure out there might be something else that's your passion online to get it. But even so, whether it's Amazon or something else, there's a lot of, like Julie, there's a lot of kind of, you want to deal with quality people and you want to kind of understand the stuff so you can make it your own and see what the right fit for each person. So I love the work you're doing, especially with veterans. So, this is pretty inspiring stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to my fellow veterans, it takes work, right? It's not like absolutely not a get rich quick kind of thing, but it absolutely definitely it takes work. So
it takes work.
Any last parting words of advice, and also how can folks get a hold of you, sir?
Yeah, sure. What I would say is, you just build on your point. It takes work, but also realize the upside potential is kind of unlimited, right? So like your job or military, or when I was working for a company that, there was kind of a ceiling there, right? So when it goes well, there's no one stopping from, how much you can scale, how much you can grow. It doesn't, like you said, it takes work, but the upside there is, if you can get $100,000 business, like you can do the work to get it to add a zero to it, right? To get to $1 million.
Yep.
If you take the work and you can figure out and make it your own. But yeah, no. So if anyone wants to get in contact with us, our free workshop is at amzinsiders.org. So .org. That's kind of my step-by-step. I go kind of a deep dive probably for about an hour and a half, just kind of show you kind of in depth what we talk about, like exactly what we do. But beyond that, I would say, we're on social media. I'm on Facebook. Especially military, if you guys do want to reach out and just, maybe just track me down on Facebook, hit me up with a question in private chat, and we'll try to get back to you. We get a lot of messages. So sometimes I'm a little slow, but like as Larry can attest, but once definitely well-intentioned to follow up with everyone and each other out. But again, the amzinsiders.org, is kind of a simple way for everyone to check out the free workshop there.
All right, sir. I appreciate that. And to my fellow veterans, again, actually, this is kind of breaking news that I just found out recently, but Amazon Global Military Affairs at the headquarters in Seattle contacted me about an entrepreneurship opportunity to help military veterans sell on Amazon. And so I've been connecting with Jamie on this just today, told him about it. And so we will be keeping you posted on that opportunity as well. All right, my fellow veterans, that's it from us, and I'll see you on the high ground. Hello, my fellow veterans. Thank you so much for watching the interview. I hope you got a lot of value out of that interview. Definitely go back and take a pen and paper and take some notes, right? Go back and watch that interview again. At the top of the hour, we will have another interview. And now with all the speakers that we have at the Veterans Online Summit, a majority of them have provided what we call a free lead magnet, where you can learn more about them and some kind of education for you. But here's what I want you all to do. Number one, go to Facebook group and add yourself to Funnel Vets, FUNNELVETS. I want you guys to become a part of Funnel Vets, okay? And all it is a group of military veterans that are interested in online entrepreneurship, mainly with ClickFunnels, okay? And the second thing I want you to do is if you're ready to go all in, which I hope you are, if you're ready to go all in, kind of the first initial steps that you can take, there's a couple of things that are very key, okay? There's 2 books in particular that I really want you to get right off the bat. And I'll get you the affiliate link for those books. But the first one is Dotcom Secrets, and this is the digital online marketing guide. Okay, it's like the Bible for digital online marketing and learning how to sell online. Okay, and that's by Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels. Then you have his second book, Expert Secrets. This is an amazing book, Expert Secrets, that I want you guys to pick up. And this is teaches you how to get paid for your advice. Okay, and you're going to learn all about that. Using persuasion to sell your product or service. Again, this is called Expert Secrets. Again, that's by Russell Brunson. Now, when you're looking to scale your business, when you're looking to scale your business, you're going to be looking for a book called The Dream 100. This is revolutionary. I can't even tell you how amazing this book is. I'll get you to the link for that. Okay. All three of these books, these are like kind of the main books here. All three of them are free plus shipping, right? You're just going to pay for some shipping. The other thing that I want you to consider getting, another book from ClickFunnels. Again, they provide a lot, right? But what they provide is something called the cookbook. This is free as well. You just pay the shipping costs. But in the cookbook, for when you're learning how you get the ClickFunnels software, I'm going to get you a link and get you 2 weeks free to use the software. And when you use that software, this has everything you need to know about building online software or building a sales funnel, okay, and the different types of funnels that you can create. Okay, this is step by step, and it's called the Funnel Hackers Cookbook. Okay, again, that's free plus shipping. All right, and then also, my good buddy, if you're interested in learning how to write persuasively, again, if you're interested in learning how to write persuasively, Jim Edwards, who's a speaker on the summit, this book's not even available yet, but it's going to be available, and I know he'll want to get that to you. He's a huge supporter of veterans. He gave me this book, and that's Copywriting Secrets, okay? Again, it's a lot, but I'm trying to get you guys the stuff that's necessary that will propel you, okay, over the next person who doesn't have this amazing material, okay? These are like foundational books. These are foundational books, okay? Now, if you only could get 2 books, only 2, again, you'd get these 2. If you just, kind of low on money, you have to. I'm a freaking officer. That's command authority right there. I'm giving you an order that you have to get these 2 books, okay? Definitely get these 2 books to start, and then moving forward from there, look to get the other books. Now, lastly, there's something called the One Funnel Away Challenge, and it's a 30-day challenge where you are going to commit to yourself about an hour a day, hour to 2 hours a day to learning ClickFunnels, okay? And you will have 3 amazing coaches, Russell Brunson, Julie Stowen, and Stephen Larson, who's a military officer himself back in the day, okay? And they'll be coaching you through the One Funnel Away Challenge. With that, it's $100, right? It's $100 for this thing, and you'll get all the trainings every single day, videos and whatnot online. And you'll get this box that will come in the mail to you. And this box is full of a ton of goodies, okay? One thing that's included in is this 30 days book. You suddenly lose everything in 30 days. What would you do? And they took 30 of the top ClickFunnels experts who use the software for different types of things. And they said, you have 30 days and all you have is the ClickFunnels software. What are you going to do to get back on your feet? Okay, it's 30 different case studies of completely different things that you can do to get back on your feet with in the online marketing world. And with the One Funnel Away Challenge comes the workbook, okay? So again, just to recap, this is the One Funnel Away Challenge is something that I've done that almost every funnel hacker has done. It's $100 and it lasts 30 days. I'll get you the link for that, and that's something that you can check out. But again, these are the 2 books that you want to start off with, okay? Dotcom Secrets and Expert Secrets. All right, immerse yourself in ClickFunnels. Just immerse yourself in ClickFunnels, and that's how you do it, starting off with those books. And I hope I know it's going to be really helpful for you. I know it's going to be really helpful for you. Again, if you want to go all in, this is how you do it, okay? You know how you do it? You take out your credit card, you take out your debit card, and you pay for it, right? Because all of us before you have done the very same thing, and you're going to be asking your potential clients to take out their wallet, and you got to be comfortable doing the same thing, okay? That's how it works in this game, and it takes a lot of hard work, but I'm excited to be there with you every freaking step of the way, okay? And lastly, I have some huge opportunities for you. I am an Inner Circle partner of Tier 5. The Tier 5 software, meaning I have the ability to sell software. And I also have the ability to create partnerships on a limited basis so that they have the ability to sell software under me. So if that interests you, I'm going to give you some free software just to check it out, to check out our product line. And to be able to, whatever you decide to do, if you decide to create online courses, if you decide to write a book, if you decide to do digital marketing, if you decide to be a life coach, if you can add software to your offer, you make that offer even more irresistible. Okay. Again, you make that offer more irresistible to where clients will want to take up that offer and give their money to you. Okay. And so I'm going to give you some opportunity to check out the Tier 5 software. And I hope that is really helpful to you guys. Okay. So again, you have to go all in. That's all I'm asking. You may not believe in yourself. Sometimes you'll doubt yourself, but the one thing you will never do is you'll never give up on yourself. Cool. All right. On to the next interview. I appreciate you guys.